Tonight in prime time, it's round two for the Trump family. Two of the nominees' children, Tiffany and Donald Jr., will be delivering keynote speeches at the RNC. Queen singing "We Are the Champions" as Trump took the stage last night, breaking with tradition. As you know, usually the nominee only appears on the final night of the convention, but Trump introduced his wife Melania before her speech. With lightning speed, social media blew up after the former model and immigrant from Slovenia finished her remarks, which lasted 14 minutes. The accusations, you know this, that she plagiarized some of her speech, and from all people, Michelle Obama. You be the judge.
Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values, like you work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
My parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
We want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Oh, well. Now, before the speech was delivered, this is being touted as something Melania wrote, maybe with just a little bit of help. After the fact, it suddenly became the work of a team of writers. Either way, reaction to her allegedly lifting 58 words from the First Lady's 2008 speech fell mostly along party lines.
The Trump Organization is going to have to answer for the content of that speech. And, the side-by-side is pretty clear. And, the evidence, as you said, really isn't in dispute, and so we'll leave it to them to answer for the similarities between other individuals who have delivered speeches in the past.
When I know her, I don't believe she would do that, and I don't believe that last night sounded like anything other than Melania Trump. I wasn't sitting there saying, "Wow, that sounds like Michelle Obama to me." That sounded like Melania Trump to me.
So how is this affecting business at the convention, which is officially naming Donald Trump its nominee for president today? Tonight, I'm joined by Boston Globe political reporter, I think it's fair to say, student of all things Trump. That'd be Matt Visor, who's at the RNC in Cleveland. Good to see you, Matt.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me.
So it's about a day after the speech that was. Are we any closer to identifying who's responsible for the channeling of Michelle Obama?
Not exactly. The Trump campaign is saying they won't fire anybody because of this. They are not fessing up over who was involved in this. They do have the problematic part of where Melania was saying beforehand that she wrote the speech herself. So it's a bit unclear sort of how their staffing was around the crafting of this speech.
You've got a pretty good pipeline, both to Trump himself and to his campaign. The word on the street today, at least on cable, was Trump and his wife are furious. Is that for public consumption, or do we really believe they're as upset as most of us think they should be?
I mean, I think they're upset over that this is dominating the day, the second day of the convention. Nobody's talking about anything else except for this. And I think they're frustrated about that. It's still unclear, though, whether they're frustrated internally at somebody inside the campaign who's responsible for this, or if they're just frustrated with the coverage of it and the atmosphere around sort of the fervor. But it's not just the media. I mean, delegates are feeling this too. There was some shock last night when delegates heard that the portion of her speech was not only plagiarized, but from Michelle Obama.
Just put this in a little context. You covered the Romney campaign in 2012. Other than some unscripted remarks, which obviously helped sink him, at an organized event, could anything like this ever happen in Romney 2012?
Absolutely not. I mean, the big moment from the 2012 convention that was unscripted was the empty chair.
Right, with Clint Eastwood, right.
But that was the only thing just about. I mean, any word that was uttered, Mitt Romney had a team of people who would evaluate his tweets, before they went out, much less a speech. on the biggest stage for Melania, certainly of her life. And so, everything was checked and checked again with the Romney campaign. So in this case, it's sort of malpractice on the campaign's part to not have everything locked in. She's reading from a teleprompter. This is a big moment. They had plenty of time to prepare for this. So, it sort of raises a whole host of questions about preparedness and discipline that has sort of bogged down Trump's campaign over the past couple of weeks.
Well, speaking of discipline and disorganization, I thought last night, other than before this thing blew up, was pretty powerful. It was dark, but this Make America Safe Again, pretty powerful. We have the mother of someone killed at Benghazi said, "I blame Hillary Clinton for my son's death." Joni Ernst, the rising star senator from Iowa, unfortunately, virtually nobody heard Sean Smith's mother, particularly on Fox News, because Bill O'Reilly was called into by the candidate himself. Joni Ernst was after we were all in bed. Isn't this further evidence of the fact that, who's running this railroad?
Yeah, I mean, it is sort of a host of missteps. Trump's campaign yesterday morning was very critical of John Kasich, the Ohio governor, the host governor, really, who's been critical of Trump. There's not been a huge atmosphere of unity, that they're really trying to achieve that, but there's all these things that keep happening that get in the way of it. Last night, the crowd was sort of electric. Rudy Giuliani was sort of at a barn burner of a speech.
He was.
People were very excited about it. Melania, the reviews initially of Melania's speech were very positive among the people that at least I was speaking with, until later when you realize that certain excerpts were plagiarized.
So last night was Make America Safe Again. Tonight is Make America Work Again. Again, I'm never sure what we in the media are consumed with that real people don't care about. There's an amazing piece in The New Yorker by Jane Mayer, who wrote this book called Dark Money, where she interviews the ghostwriter of the book that really made Trump who he is in a lot of ways, The Art of the Deal. He says, this is the ghostwriter, it shouldn't be called The Art of the Deal, it should be called The Sociopath. He says the guy doesn't know the truth from a lie. He eviscerates Trump, says it's all a fiction. Is this something we care about, or is it something that puts a damper on the economic night 2 at the convention?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, it's hard to overstate the importance of this book, The Art of the Deal, both in sort of bringing Trump to a new level of stardom, as well as psychologically. I mean, it's something that Trump refers to all the time. So to have the ghostwriter of that being so critical of Trump himself is striking. How much that resonates, in a broad public, is a little bit harder thing to gauge. I think tonight, shifting back, it's really the party wants to get going again on this convention after big hiccups in the first day. Paul Ryan, the House Speaker, is speaking tonight. Will be highly anticipated.
Yeah.
Although he and Trump don't see eye to eye on many issues, so that's something that everybody's watching tonight.
Matt, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Matt Visor from the Boston Globe.